Hey now, Adam, what's going on?
What's going on? What are we talking about? Is Elon Musk going to take out a flamethrower and destroy Media Matters, Sitch? Because that's really what I want to see.
Let's hope so. Elon Musk is suing Media Matters. Now, Media Matters is a famous dirty smear merchants for the left.
Yes,
They go after the right. They've been doing this for decades. They're run by, or they used to be run by a guy named David Brock. Very interesting character. I'm going to talk about him after I go through the story because I have a lot to say about him. But right now, Elon Musk is suing them for this article. Okay. This is the article that Media Matters put out. It says, as Musk endorses anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, X has been placing ads for Apple, Bravo, IBM, Oracle, and Xfinity next to pro-Nazi content.
So this is basically a Media Matters hit piece full of lies and deception.
I mean, we'll find out. I would say yes. I would definitely say yes. They're trying to get these advertisers specifically to pull out ads from Twitter or X.
Okay. Liars. And Elon Musk is going to take them down in court.
So, and I want to show this. This really sets the tone for the article. It says, as X owner Elon Musk continues his descent into white nationalism and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, his social media platform has been placing ads for major brands. And then it goes through the brands.
So is this part of what he's suing for? Is he white nationalist, anti-Semitic conspiracy theorist? That's not part of the lawsuit, right?
No.
That just,
because that's just their opinion, right?
But that is a lie. That's a total lie.
I agree. I think it's a lie, but it shows you how the tone and the framing, obviously, of where this article is going.
Okay. Insane.
Okay. So what the case is about is Media Matters produced these screenshots, and there's this, and there's like one more, but we don't have to look at them all, where it shows that there's some person that had a Nazi tweet, which it is a racist Nazi tweet, and there's an ad right under it or right above it from a big brand like Oracle or IBM or something. Okay. And they took these screenshots, they put out this article, and they're saying, hey, brands, your brand name is being associated with this horrible Nazi content.
Right. People are saying your precious brand that you spent billions and billions of dollars building right next to this completely anti-Semitic tweet. Aren't you pissed? Look, I would be pissed if I saw this on the platform all the time. I'd be thinking, what the hell? IBM is becoming white nationalist. The world is in flames around me. I'd be so angry. So this is happening on the platform all the time, right, Sitch?
Well, that is definitely the idea that Media Matters are trying to put out. Like, this is just a common everyday occurrence that these big brand names are associated with the Nazis.
Okay. Ouch. That's painful. That's gotta hurt.
So directly after Media Matters put out this article, 4 out of these 5 companies pulled their ads from Twitter, suspended their ads.
They called up Elon personally. They said, Elon, when are you going to stop being a Nazi?
Sure, maybe they did. I don't know if they did that or not, but they did pull their ads from X after that, yes. So there definitely seems to be a direct causation of Media Matters puts out this report, and then boom, these specific companies, the companies pull their ads. Okay.
So Elon hangs up the phone. He picks up the phone. He says, get me my attorney. I'm suing these mofos, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So you might say, but how is Elon Musk going to sue them? And for what is he going to sue them? Because clearly we can see that these ads are next to these tweets, right?
Yes. Media Matters has them dead to rights. What's he going to do?
Okay. So it's very interesting. Elon Musk, they went into the data, the algorithm, to figure out what exactly is going on here. So in the complaint that they filed, they explain exactly what Media Matters did and why these screenshots are dishonest. They said, Media Matters exclusively followed a small subset of users consisted entirely of accounts that were either people that produced fringe content or people that followed big brand names.
What? Okay, so they build a bunch of sock accounts and they only follow Nick Fuentes and IBM.
Yeah, essentially, right. It's essentially what they did. And then they said, and in the complaint, they say, but even doing that wasn't enough to generate these ads. What? They still had to go and refresh the timeline 13, 15 times to just try to get these pairings exactly perfectly so they could take the screenshot that they needed.
So they hire an army of interns who are sitting in front of their computer, hitting refresh, 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 refresh. I got one, guys. Help me screenshot it.
Yes. And by the way, they had to, like, there's some rule on Twitter that like the accounts have to be over a month old or something to like start generating ads or whatever. So they had to have these accounts do this for a month just to get to this part, just to get this place in the first place. Okay.
That's crazy. Okay. So Elon Musk is easily going to destroy them in this case, right?
Well, I hope so. I don't know. And we'll see. So another thing that's interesting is that they say in the article, Media Matters they gave no indication, okay, at all to the advertisers that this was like that how they got these, that this was very rare. And they even say that they have the analytics and the ability to determine that only 1 out of 500 million people saw this ad pairing for some of these ads.
Oh, interesting. So they have analytics on this.
Right.
So, hold on. 1 in 5 million? I mean, how many people are on the platform? That sounds like maybe it's just like one guy.
Yeah, it's the one guy who took the screenshot. He's the only person that saw this ad pairing.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So Elon Musk is going to march into court with this, with the analytics behind this and completely annihilate Media Matters, right?
Well, I think it depends on what kind of judge they get. So if they get...
listen,
I understand. But I think if they get a judge who is like younger or understands the internet, understands how social media algorithms and ads and all that stuff works, or if they get a judge that's just not like horribly biased against Elon Musk, I think they'll be in pretty good shape. I would say if I'm on the jury of this case, I'm going to look at the facts and say, wow, Media Matters definitely dishonest here, definitely, interfering with the business. But if they get a judge who's like some old guy who's like, I don't understand how the X platform works, or they just hate Elon Musk because they've read a bunch of, articles smearing him, then I think he'll be in trouble if that's the case.
Right. If the judge subscribes to Media Matters YouTube channel, we're screwed. Basically, it's completely over. It's not going to happen. So where does this fit in with peak wokeness? If we get a favorable judge, and Elon, he basically brings out the flamethrower and says, Elon Musk, you win the case. Here, take Media Matters out for us all. If Media Matters is taken off the board, because they produce a lot of propaganda, a lot of stuff that I would say is completely dishonest. Does the woke stock crash and burn if Media Matters is taken off the field?
So I don't think, so say Elon Musk wins this and Media Matters can't pay the damages and so they go bankrupt, which would probably be what would happen. I don't think them ceasing to exist is like the thing that matters. I think because then they can just create a new version, right? They can just create a different organization, the same thing. I think what matters though is that the win against them will send a signal to these organizations that they can't just do this anymore, that they can't just smear people like this anymore. And I do think if he does wins this, and I am rooting for him to win this because I hate Media Matters, but also I think it'll be better for the overall culture, and it would be a big victory against wokeness, and I think it'd be a big signal that we're, that wokeness is on decline and we're moving away from wokeness. Okay,
well, look, I'm hoping that he gets to take him out in court, and that we'll be reporting on this later, and it'll be a great thing. Let's slow it down a bit. Talk about this David Brock guy. Yeah, because you might be saying, how did all this dishonesty for Media Matters start? Where did it come from? Whose mind did it spring? Okay, David Brock is a guy behind Media Matters, right? Yes. Yeah. And that's his book. It's called Blinded by the Right. Blinded by the Right. The political right. That's what he means, correct? Yes. It says the conscience of an ex-conservative. David Brock is a very interesting character who kind of helped shape my worldview at a very young age, but probably not in the way that he would have thought. Because I remember reading his book, Blinded by the Right, when I was kind of young and just sort of getting into politics. And I think my dad gave it to me because he was my dad, who was, very on the left for most of his life. He's like, oh, you should read this book, blah, 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 blah. And I read it, and it's all about how this guy, David Brock, used to be a political smear merchant for Republicans. Okay. He very notably, he wrote a book where he went after Anita Hill. Anita Hill was the woman who accused Clarence Thomas of sexual harassment.
when he was going to be a Supreme Court justice. I mean, he is now, but we know when they were going to see if he's going to be a Supreme Court justice. And David Brock wrote a book slamming her, annihilating her. That got him like tons of love, tons of press on the right. And then his next book that he wrote was he totally wrote a smear book against Bill Clinton, where he, was making accusations about Bill Clinton, screwing other women and screwing around and all this other stuff. And he actually named Paula Jones, right? He named Paula Jones in the book, or he named her first name in the book, but that like people were able to put the pieces together from that. And that's what caused Paula Jones to end up suing Bill Clinton. And so after he, slams Anita Hill, after he slams Bill Clinton, he's like this big darling on the right. Everyone loves him. He's like this right-wing hitman, essentially. And he manages to get $1 million advance to write a book where he's going to destroy Hillary Clinton. So, but here's where it's interesting. He gets this advance, he's kind of worried because he's writing this book on Hillary Clinton and he can't dig up any like really incendiary dirt on her, right? This is
dirt on Hillary Clinton.
Well, okay. This
doesn't seem real.
Remember, this is in like the 90s. Okay.
Oh,
so this is like before Hillary was a politician. It's before like the Bill and Hillary Foundation, or the Clinton Foundation, I should say, like was like a real big thing. So this is like kind of like more early in the game here.
Right.
So he doesn't really find the dirt on her, but he has to write this book because the due date's coming up and he has $1 million advance for this book. So he ends up writing a book that is critical of her and does complain about her political, being on the left and whatever, but it's actually like kind of more fair and kind of paints her sympathetic in some instances. And it just really doesn't do the damage that people on the right were like really thirsty for. They really wanted to like drive a stake into Hillary Clinton, and the book didn't do it. And so everyone on the right
paid $1 million for this.
I mean, that's essentially it. Yeah. They want $1 million for this slamming hit piece, and it's just kind of like
yeah. They want salacious stuff.
It was just like a warm fart that like breathed away very quickly in the night air,
Wow.
So here's where this is kind of interesting. So after he does this, and his book kind of fails because it's not the hit piece they wanted, a bunch of people on the right start getting mad at him, and they start attacking him, and this combined with a couple other things where like, he's gay, and, he was talking about how there's also obviously, anti or homophobia in the Republican Party, especially in the 90s. But it's really like the reception to this book that kind of started to sour him. And so it's kind of fascinating that, he writes, and of course he casts himself as the hero. Like, oh, they wanted me to write all these lies about Hillary Clinton, and I didn't do it, and they were attacking me for my integrity, right?
Yeah.
Even though that's what he did to Anita Hill and Bill Clinton. And so because the Republicans didn't like his book and started attacking him over the fact that it was just nothing, he essentially switches sides politically. And he comes out with this Blind by the Right book where he explains how he was the dirty, dirty smear merchant for the right. And does he like become a better person? Does he like change who he is as a person? Does he become an enlightened centrist? Does he say, you know what? I had this experience and now I realize that the truth is what matters and I should be objective.
Right. Yeah. I'm guessing no. I'm thinking, look, he's still a tribalist. Everything Media Matters does screams tribalism to the nth degree.
Yeah, you're exactly right. No, all he does is he just switches teams. He just says, oh, I got attacked by the right, pulls off his shirt. He's suddenly a left-winger now. He's suddenly a progressive now. He becomes good friends with Bill and Hillary Clinton, and he just becomes the left-wing smear merchant, the left-wing hatchet man, the left-wing hitman. It's like it's so crazy to me. And so when I was reading this as a kid, this is where I kind of started to form the idea where I realized people who switch sides very often, they don't really have like principles, or rather they didn't become enlightened. They didn't switch sides because they learned some like great universal truth about human behavior. All that happened was they got attacked by their side, and so they just switched teams. So very often people who switch teams, they don't change their personality type. They just change what stripes, what team, what jersey they're wearing at that moment. They're still the exact same person. They're still the scorpion on the frog's back. Their nature hasn't changed.
That's an interesting switch, because really he had I guess he did have some semblance of understanding the value of the truth. If he's searching for dirt on Hillary Clinton and he can't find any dirt, so he does the best he can without really having much to grab onto. And that reception is poorly received. But then he switches sides, and now all of a sudden, does he believe that he's actually digging up real dirt on people? I mean, this case with Elon Musk, it's hard to say that he believes that. It seems like he's just divorced himself from that previous principle of the truth.
Well, so he created Media Matters, and he ran it until last year. So he finally stepped down last year. But so he wasn't directly involved with the Elon Musk story, but obviously Media Matters has been doing this like lying, smearing stuff for, decades.
Oh, okay. So it's a completely different.
Well, no,
different actors could have come into Media Matters.
No. Wait. Media Matters has been horribly dishonest for decades.
Okay. When he was there, he was horribly dishonest.
So like he definitely created the culture that would end up producing this Elon Musk hit piece. This Elon Musk hit piece is completely par for the course that Media Matters has been doing. Like, this is not out of left field or anything. This is exactly what they've been doing for, over 10 years.
Right.
So, but that's and you're right. That's what's kind of interesting, is because that's kind of what's interesting to me about him switching teams, because it's not like he went on the left and he said, listen, I have problems with people on the right and I'm going to go about it in an honest way. It's like, no, Media Matters and other organizations that he's been a part of have just been just as insanely dishonest, as he was when he was on the right. He's just obviously still the exact same dirty smear merchant who knows that he's being pressured by his own team to get blood on the bad guys.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I would have to see the books that he did that destroyed these other people before the Hillary Clinton book.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did he have facts and evidence to destroy those people?
So usually, because I've skimmed them, like the way it works is that there is truth there. Like there's something there, right? Or there's like a kernel somewhere in there, and then, it gets blown up or hyperbolized to some extent. So there's something there to grab onto. So you could convince yourself that, I'm just telling the truth.
It's exactly like this Media Matters story with Elon Musk. It's like, well, look, we created this situation.
Right.
So we're really looking at this on the screen. You're just leaving out all the how you actually did it.
Right.
You're leaving out the context to make it seem more nefarious than it is.
Exactly.
But I guess he ran into trouble not being able to do any of that with the Hillary Clinton situation.
Yeah. And it's
for me, and look, I don't know if this messes with your theory at all, but could it be that he had some feeling of affinity for the truth, and then he realized Republicans didn't care about truth. They just were partisans. So he switched sides, thinking, I don't want to be involved with those people who don't care about truth. And he goes over to the left, and the left convinces him that they do care about truth. But he's just in this partisan bubble by now. So he's seeing all this stuff through the Media Matter, the partisan lens, but the truth is warping along the way.
So that doesn't go against my theory. That is my theory.
Okay.
I think exactly, or at least what you just laid out is what he tells himself. Like, I don't think he's sitting here like rubbing his hands like, ha ha ha, I was an evil hitman for the right and now I'm an evil hitman for the left. He tells himself the narrative that you just said. That's how he rationalizes it to himself. But the fact that he would fall so quickly into being able to like fall into that bubble where he's going to then produce dishonest content shows that he didn't learn anything from his switching sides. He's literally just the exact same person. He was in a right-wing bubble producing dishonest content. Now he's in a left-wing bubble producing dishonest content.
But he thinks it's honest content from his perspective, right?
Yeah, but that's because he didn't learn anything. He's exactly the same person. He has all the same intuitions that he had when he was on the right. And it's fascinating to me because this is almost the exact same story that happened to Candace Owens.
Right.
Which is that, Candace Owens, she sues her school for racial discrimination because some students at the school left her like a racist voicemail, and somehow that's the school's fault. So she like teams up with the NAACP to sue her school. And then after that, she creates her doxing website where she wants people to send, has anyone ever been like sexist, racist, or mean to you? Yeah. Send us the screenshot of the comment in their name, and we'll like put it up forever so that people who want to hire them can like search their names. And so she's doing this. She's doing her doxing website, and then she gets attacked not just from people on the right, but she gets attacked by Zoe Quinn, the woman who, was involved with the center of Gamergate. And she gets attacked by Zoe Quinn and a bunch of people on the left. And it's like, suddenly when she's attacked by people on the left, she's like, oh my God, I guess I'm on the right now. Like,
my side is not as honest as I suspected. I got to go to the honest side.
Well, I think that's part of it, but I think it's the sense of betrayal seems to be like the emotion guiding them. Like, oh, I'm betrayed by my own team. And then they just run to the other team. But Candace Owens still seems to like act and behave the way she did when she was suing her school, when she was creating the doxing websites and all this stuff. Like, she didn't change who she is as a person. She just changed the jersey she's wearing, who she's attacking.
Right. Yeah, I've had several epiphanies like this in my own life. So I get it.
Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, so that's the story. A lot of interesting stuff going on here with Brock as a guy. And we'll see going forward with the lawsuit. I hope, even though I disagree with Elon Musk's original endorsement of the tweet, even though he clarified later, I do hate Media Matters, and I do hope that they get annihilated in court.
Well, you hate that they're dishonest, obviously.
That's why I hate them. Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Hi, you just listened to a clip from the Sitch and Adams show. If you like what you heard, you can listen to our live show right here on this channel on Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And if you want, you can super chat us. We read $20 and up super chats on the show and then do a follow-up stream on the following Tuesday where we read the rest of the unread super chats and interact with fans of the show. Subscribe to this channel right here to listen to the live show or to listen to more of our awesome clips.